Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Dr. Kelly. I'm a psychologist and psychotherapist and I want to talk about emotions. So if you follow me for a while, you know I've got a thing about things being labelled as either a bad or a good emotion because all emotions are serving a purpose, right? But it's about really being able to understand what is that function. So we can ask about, okay, I'm feeling sad. So what is the function of this emotion? And here what I said, I am feeling. It is not I am sad, it is I am feeling sad. You are not one singular emotion. You may be feeling a certain way, but you are not a singular emotion. So when we're trying to work out the function, sometimes a really, really helpful question is to ask yourself, what is that emotion protecting you from? So, for example, what is your fear protecting you from? What is your sadness protecting you from? What is your anxiety protecting you from? And although that sometimes that these emotions feel that they can sometimes get in the way of doing certain things, asking ourselves, what is this emotion trying to tell us? What is this maybe emotion trying to warn us about? So what is the kind of the protective kind of mechanism behind it? And with this, it's not just sometimes when we tune into our emotions and we kind of think, okay, yeah, those the pleasant emotions are more vulnerable, are more valuable. But it's really being able to tune into our whole emotions, and pleasant and unpleasant emotions are just the same as bad or good emotions. But so really kind of thinking about when our emotions are fired, it's kind of really from that old part of the brain, so the reptilian brain, so that bit right in the centre of your brain. You've got the limbic system, which is your thinking brain, but when we're being driven by our emotions, sometimes that thinking brain kind of goes offline, so they're not really talking to each other, and it's about really kind of tuning back in and trying to label that emotion. And that's why sometimes when we are experiencing emotions and they feel really, really strong, just by labeling what emotion you are feeling allows those both parts of the kind of the old brain and the new brain to then be talking to each other. So let's think about that maybe you are feeling really anxious about something, and it could be about that maybe then you are procrastinating about whatever because you are feeling anxious. Really checking in, okay, so why am I procrastinating? Is it because that you are maybe fearful of getting something wrong? Say even if you use it with studying, you're procrastinating, you're not starting to write your whatever you're writing, a paper, a case study, whatever it is, and you're procrastinating. You feel anxious. So what is that anxiety protecting you from? Maybe that fear of, I'm going to get this wrong, I don't know what to say, I'm going to fail this assignment. And that procrastination, so that behaviour that comes from the emotion of the anxiety, and what is it protecting you from? The fear of failure. It's protecting you feeling like maybe you're incompetent. So, and sometimes it can actually feel quite hard to check in and answer that question. But it's about kind of tuning in, I suppose, with sometimes what you are feeling and kind of how you are dealing with that. And as we know with CBT, that the emotions and the behaviour will always come as part of a package. You're going to be feeling something, so you're going to be doing something or not doing something, whether you see procrastination as doing something or not doing something. I suppose it could be both. Anyway. And maybe even if you think about maybe that you are feeling sad, so you aren't really doing much. You're cancelling plans, you're not going out with people. Okay, so what is this sadness protecting me from? Maybe it's protecting me from going into environments with people where I don't feel safe to say how I actually feel. Maybe it's protecting me from actually having to share that I'm not feeling that happy at the moment. That is about tuning into the feeling. What is that feeling making you do, as I said, or not do? Even thinking about maybe avoiding situations. So you're feeling maybe a little bit nervous about having a conversation with someone, so you're avoiding it. So that is the protection of the avoidance, and it is doing it because maybe you feel that you're not able to communicate your needs. Maybe you are fearful of the other person's response to you. It's all about just really being able to unpack the different levels of it. So I suppose ultimately it's about knowing our emotions, being able to label them. So that's what I meant, labeling, bringing that together. Then being able to see, okay, so what actually is this protecting me from? Let me see these emotions in a different way. Instead of labeling them as bad, unhelpful, unpleasant, whatever it may be, seeing them as just emotions, seeing them as they're serving a function, and how do I work out the function? Sometimes looking at the behaviour that is coming from it, and then asking kind of, with that emotion and that behaviour, what is that protecting me from? Fear, failure, rejection, whatever it may be. And then you can work your way around it, see what you could do. You could really just do the opposite, just do it anyway. Or maybe figure out some sort of graded way to be able to approach it. But hopefully this will help you to identify things, to maybe think about things in a slightly different way, and then be able to work with them. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Take care.